Hey guys, SimmersDim Gaming here, back with another No More Room in Hell 2 video. I let this game cook for a little bit and I decided to come back and test it out after a bunch of updates. Let's just say I was pleasantly surprised with the updates that they've done. Let's talk about them. So I played it again with a friend of mine, Obscure Edge, when they did the Reanimation and the Reanimation Plus updates. Just a little side note there. Let's just say I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm always happy to be proved wrong about video games, and this actually is one of the times I'll hold my hand up and say, yep, okay, we let it cook, and they've done a good job. There is still a lot of things to do, and I know they have a decent roadmap, so let's hope they can keep on the trend of updating this game and updating it consistently. They've changed the melee combat, they've kind of overhauled it a little bit, and it seems a lot more fluid. I always found that melee was either really underwhelming or the hit reg was literally just terrible, so it was kind of almost unusable before, but now melee weapons are a good option, and that definitely is a plus, as a lot of the time I struggle to find bullets or get given bullets when we're playing as a team. The weapons are a lot better. They also have an attachment system now, as you couldn't get attachments for anything at all. Now you can get suppressors, optics and things like that, and it does really make a difference. The gunplay itself is vastly improved as well. I had an issue every single time I used a shotgun. The first iteration of when I played it, basically you would headshot zombies and they would just keep coming. They would literally have no face left and they would keep coming. But if you shot them in the legs, they then die in one shot. It was kind of ridiculous, but now shotguns feel like the powerhouses they should be. One thing that was always good from the first No More Room in Hell was the fact that you could get infected and then you could literally put your gun to your head and blow yourself away just to save your teammates fighting you as a zombie. Now they've added that into the game. It gives a bit more of a feel of desperation and survivalmanship, because you obviously have to try and survive and not get bitten. There are ways of curing yourself, but yeah, you just have to always try to be a bit more on your guard. As before, there was kind of no consequences, so that's interesting. Basically, keep stocking up on painkillers is all I'm going to say on that one. Those things are good, but I think the biggest thing for me is the fact that they dropped 2 new levels, and 1 or 2 of them have multiple ways of escaping as well, so it just keeps the game really fresh. As before, you just always got to the power plant on the original level and you always did the same thing. There wasn't really much variation, so it just made it a little bit boring. Also as well, the fact you can have multiple characters genuinely makes it more fun, because before you would get to level 50 and then you literally couldn't do anything. You just had to use that character till you died and started all over again. There was kind of no variation. You can set up your 3 characters, because 3 is the max you can have. You can set them up in different ways. You could have one being good with melee, one being like a medic, and one being really good with guns. So again, just lots more ways to keep this game fresh. Also, with the infection stuff being added in, they've also added new skills, so you can get skills that will make you way more immune or almost totally immune if you get the master version. It's pretty good, and it means that you can almost kind of focus on not being infected, so you can just power through zombies and not have to worry as much. Also, judging by how the current updates have gone, I'm actually now looking forward to the summer part of their roadmap for this year. Basically, we're getting a new map and they're going to be working on a lot of fixes, new weapons, and they're going to also add a tutorial, which is going to be pretty cool. Not to mention as well, before I forget, they also have been adding different types of zombies too. So you have the firefighter zombies who have the air tanks on their back. You can actually shoot them and they'll explode, and they also have riot zombies too. They have riot shields and riot gear on, so you have to get a bit more creative with how you kill them. As headshots, you'll have to shoot them a bunch of times and then take the helmet off before you can headshot them. It just adds a bit more variation. I think the thing I'm getting at is this game was lacking variety, and now it's got a lot more variety, so let's see what they come up with next. Don't get me wrong, there are still things that are a little bit annoying, like if you're playing as a male character, you have a male voice, but sometimes it changes to the opposite sex, and vice versa. If you're playing as a female character, you'll randomly start swinging with a melee weapon and you'll sound like you're a bloke. So that's a bit of a weird one, and sometimes some of the quest items, they don't actually work, so you have to kind of mess around with them. But that's stuff that I know they are looking at. I've seen them actually address that and stuff, so that is a good sign. I don't know how much priority wise that would be for them, but hopefully it gets fixed sooner rather than later. All in all, the game is in a better state and a lot more of a promising state. I just wish that this was how the game was when they released it. I would have happily waited another 6 months for this, because my first impression of this game wasn't good. So I'm always going to have that opinion, just because that's how it was. I feel like, and this is probably me showing my age, I grew up in the early 90s with gaming, so I feel like nowadays they slap on the early access moniker and then it means they can just mess around with the game. And to be honest, some games, they say it's early access, you buy the game and then you can't refund it because you played it too much, then the game disappears. Whereas that game had to be on a disc or a cartridge back in the 90s, and it had to be good there and then because you couldn't just patch it. So I feel like I'm a bit on the fence with the whole early access thing. Same with Greyzone Warfare, just using that as an example. I really like that game, but they released that on early access way too early. As always, let me know what you think about No More Room in Hell 2, and if you played it from when it first came out, what your opinion was of it then, and what your opinion is of it now. This is SimmersDim Gaming, and I'll see you in the next one.